whatever it's worth, right? Whoever sells it. Wrong. I'm Charlie. Welcome to Moving Home with Charlie, and thank you for coming.
Charlie Landing grew up in Sussex, is the founder of Best Agent and presenter of Moving Home with Charlie.
If you want to find one of these guys, look out for those compassionate professionals. All estate agents are not the same.
So Charlie, what would be your advice for people interested in buying new builds right now?
Don't overpay. Do buy, but don't overpay. That's why I say disregard the guff. Read into the numbers and look, and it's buried. The bad news is buried in the small print, okay?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Property Press Awards.
They may or may not be telling the truth, but you should form your own view. Get out and view, get out and view, get out and view. You cannot be in a position to make offers and have the offers accepted if you're not viewing. Just be out there viewing. Pay attention to the back of the class. If you've not been watching my videos, I did one just a couple of days ago. Disregard the guff, guys. Hi everybody, sorry for the short notice. I know you hate it when I do this with short notice, but this was just important enough that I wanted to get it in here. Good afternoon everybody, Stitchy, Cerberus the Defender, Visual, 3-Player Politics. This was just, it's just too important not to get out there immediately. So for everybody watching this, whenever you're watching it, whether you're watching it live now, whether you're watching it later, I have been saying for a long time that I am very concerned about there being prolonged steep house price falls. I've been saying it since actually a year ago, May last year. And there's been a mixed response, and a lot of people in the industry keep on laughing and going, "Hey Charlie, where's your house price crash? Hasn't happened yet, has it?" Which really worries me that people in the industry don't understand about the time lag. So in this video, I am going to explain in the simplest terms possible so that anybody who watches this video understands that the big thing to understand about a house price crash, so to speak, is that you never know they've happened until it's too late because of the time lag effect. Okay? House price crashes do not manifest themselves in the news or in reality or in any data or in any stats as they are happening. You only find out at least 6 months too late. So you may not think there are going to be further steep house price falls. You might think they've hit the bottom. That's fine. Everyone's got to form their own opinion based on their own research. But I have used my AI tool, which is Housing Stig. AI as in actual intelligence, and I spent months crunching the data and the numbers of historical facts and trends to show what correlation there is and what causes house prices to go up and down. And today, the Land Registry this morning announced the March House Price Index, and it is the steepest monthly drop in any March for at least 25 years, probably back to the early 90s fall. And I also want to remind everyone about the 3 A's of house prices. There's no such thing as house prices. There are asking prices, agreed prices, and actual prices. And I've written this out in the description below so you can go and have a look at it. So anyone watching this wondering about what house prices are doing, I say, well, what do you mean house prices? Do you mean what's happening to asking prices? Do you mean what's happening at the coalface of agreed prices? Or do you mean what's happening with actual reported prices? Because there's this big, big time lag effect, which is why within 24 hours, we get Rightmove saying record house prices and the Land Registry saying 5th straight consecutive monthly fall, fastest monthly price drop in over 25 years. In 2 days, right? The same 2 things. Why? Because Rightmove reports asking prices, which happen at the beginning of the whole moving process. And the Land Registry reports the actual prices over a year later. So what we've got is the confusion effect of Rightmove's asking guff yesterday and the Land Registry's very out of date actual completed prices reported today. So if you are a consumer, a first-time home buyer, a buyer who doesn't understand the timing effects of all these things, and you're going, what record prices, falls, what's going on? It's driving me mad. I don't understand it. The only way to understand it is to always know whether you are looking at asking prices, agreed prices for which there is no data, the closest we've got is the Nationwide and Halifax, right? The Nationwide and Halifax house price indices report transaction prices after the transaction's been agreed, but before it's been completed. So the closest we've got to agreed prices, which is still a couple of months out of date, is the mortgage indices. And the Land Registry, even though it's only a small sample to begin with, when it comes out with the most recent month, is the only actual verified, accurate, or as close as we can get to accurate, completion house prices. Okay, so you need to understand that asking prices are, first of all, unrelated directly to actual prices anyway, but asking prices, when they're being reported, are showing you well in advance what people are hoping to get for some of their houses. Okay, it has no correction to actual prices. Agreed prices is the most timely one we get. So the Halifax and Nationwide are probably the closest. They're still 2 to 3 months out of date, but the nearest to what's happening at the coalface, but it is still 2 or 3 months out of date. And the Land Registry is typically 6 months out of date, currently 9 months out of date, if you factor in the time between price being agreed and Land Registry reporting it as completed, right? At the moment, I'm calling it as an average of about 9 months. I won't go into the reasons why, which means that given that today's actual house prices reported by the Land Registry, although they say it's March completions, this is for deals that were being agreed about 9 months ago. Now, you could say 6 months ago. It's up to you, right? If you want to say, well, Charlie, 9 months are too far, fine, call it 6 months. Then we're looking at December. So 6 months ago is December, 9 months ago is August, and we're getting steep falls in prices being agreed last August, September, October, right? Last autumn, call it. So we're only just beginning to see in the actual official house prices the effects of the mini budget and interest rates going up. Now, let me just run you through something. I want to show you something, because I always say, now, some of you are going to be saying, oh, Charlie, 1 month, you can't say 1 month matters because you say that 1 month isn't a trend and 1 month doesn't matter. That's true. Absolutely correct. So could it be that this is a 1 month anomaly in the Land Registry? Well, let's have a look at the last 5 months. Okay. So let me get this up on screen for you. And let's start with November last year. So November last year, and I'll also explain the difference between annual and monthly. So annual is an arbitrary comparison with the prices 12 months earlier. Okay, so it's doing that. And in a changing market, annual is very confusing. But let's just track them both, right? So in November, 5 months ago, they were reporting house prices were 10% up on the year, but starting to fall. They were 3% down on the month, right? So next month in December, so that's the first month of falls, 0.3%, but 295,000, closest, damn it, 295,000. Okay, so we go to December and 294,000. Now it's gone from a minus 0.3% monthly drop to a minus 0.4% monthly drop. Okay, these are still not insignificant drops. If you annualize that, that's still 5% fall in a year if you had annualized that monthly drop. Okay, so already significant falls. And that's December. That's month 2. Month 3, January. Okay, the annual increase has dropped from 10% down to 6%, and the monthly drop has accelerated to 1.1%. Third month of drops, right? And 1.1%, remember, that's going to be for 6 months prior to January. So for last July, house prices were falling last summer at the coalface. This is the evidence of it. Okay, this is before the mini budget and before interest rates even really started to climb. Then we go into February, which was a month ago they reported this. Drops another %. That's the 4th month in a row. And now the annual is only 5.5%. But the average price has dropped from 295 to 287. And then today's reported, and I've linked to this one below, 285,000. That's 10 grand down off the high of 295,000. Okay, it's the annual rate is now 4.1%. But remember, this is factoring in for deals that were agreed at least 6 months ago. and the monthly price change was 1.2%. So it's an accelerating rate. It's 5 months of falls in a straight line. Official Land Registry completed price data. Okay. Now, is this 100% accurate? No, because it doesn't yet include all the transactions because the Land Registry's got a big backlog. Okay. Is this telling you what's happening at the coalface today? No. So could prices be going back up today? Well, theoretically, yes. But this is before the cost of living crisis started to bite. So I ask you this, do you think that between 6 months ago and now, people's affordability, the amount of money they've got available to buy a house, has gone up or gone down? It's that simple. Have people's mortgage offers been offering them more money than 6 months ago or less money than 6 months ago as the effective interest rate bites? And as those low mortgage offers at low rates have expired? And what do you think? I mean, this is not difficult. We can now look at the last 6 months. We know what's happened in the last 6 months and go, no one's going to be paying more now, are they? And if you are paying more now today because you think prices are going up, I implore you to really think about it. I do not want to stop people moving. I'm here to help people move home. This channel is called Moving Home with Charlie, and I want to help people. Whether you're buying or selling or both, I want to help you move. But I also want to stop people getting themselves into a situation that they regret because they overpaid. And what we've got here is the strongest evidence yet of a prolonged downturn in prices. You cannot, by the way, Nationwide had 7 months straight down. They've had 1 month up. Okay, so if you want to go, well, what's happening in the other ones? And Halifax has been weirdly 3 months up, but then it was down. So confusing and unhelpful. And those are agreed prices, not yet actual completed prices. Okay, so this is why it's so hard to figure out what's going on. This is why those people with a vested interest in house prices not falling are pumping out the guff so hard right now because they need to sell their stuff. Yesterday, there was a story out about how investor purchases of off-plan developments have just plummeted, absolutely plummeted. If you want to know what the people with money are doing, they're not buying stuff off-plan. Why? Ask yourself that. I also want to share with you this graph here. So this is courtesy of the Twitter handle @HousePriceCrash. This is just comparing March this year with March last year, March the year before, March the year before. All. So these are just the Marches of all the years going back to 2001. All right, puts it into context about how significant a monthly price drop that is. All right, because people go 1%, Charlie. That's not a crash. Fucking hell, honestly. You get those tweets with the "Where's your house price crash, Charlie?" laughing, crying emoji. I say again to those people, you don't know that there's been a house price crash until it's too late. And my predictions are that these house price falls won't actually complete for another 2 years. And there are people going, oh, maybe it's the Bank of England saying it's not going to be maybe not going to be a recession. The IMF yesterday saying, oh, maybe we're going to avoid a recession. Let me just remind you that in the last 6 months, the Bank of England's forecasts have been over-optimistic every single time. And the markets and the economists, 6 months straight, they have underestimated how sticky inflation is. And this morning, we had yet another, higher than expected inflation result. How many months do you Muppets needs to keep on getting it wrong before you go, maybe we're not figuring this out correctly? How long till you use actual maths like AI Stig, actual intelligence Stig uses? By the way, he called today's inflation figure 8.7%. He called it within 0.1%. Okay. Because he guesses? No. Because he does extensive mathematical models with no institutional pressure on what to put out there and no bias. He's just curious to know what's actually going to happen, which is why he's actually intelligent, which is why I call him AI Stig now. I think that's fun. But hang on a second. Inflation, yes, it's dropped. Everyone knew it was going to come down this month because it's been 12 months since the really steepest climb a year ago. So that is a mathematical factor of how it happens. But it hasn't dropped as far as the markets and all economists were expecting. So why do the economists keep getting it wrong? Well, we'll never know, right? But they do keep getting it wrong. And now the markets, I've got another article to share with you here. This is Bloomberg. Money markets are pricing in a peak Bank of England rate as high as 5.5%. Now, that's by the end of the year. And now factor in that interest rate effects don't reach the housing market for another 9 to 12 months after that. That means that we are not going to see the end of the negative pressure on house prices from rising interest rates for at least another 18 months. So to people like Scott, who was on my live stream last night, who think, oh, I'm 50-50. I think maybe it's going to plateau now, but I also accept that it could go down. Understand the mathematical effect of the fact that the markets are expecting in interest. And the other thing is this, right? This time last year, the markets were expecting Bank of England's interest rates to peak at 3%. Just 1 year ago, they were expecting rates to peak at 3%. So that's how wrong the markets can be. So whenever you see a news headline saying the markets have priced in this, you know, oh, that's interesting. But they're always wrong. And in the last year, they've always been underestimating it. At some point, that might change, but it's not changing yet. So without any opinion or gut feel about what house prices are doing, when you just look at the data, land registry data, factor in the data that it is 6 months out of date, look at the interest rate data, look at the data that economists have got it wrong 6 months in a row, and the Bank of England and the OBR have all got it wrong 6 months in a row. You look at that, you look at the fact that there is a priced in future effective interest rates, and that has a delayed 12-month effect on house prices as well. Anyone with GCSE maths can see what's going to happen, unless something radical comes along to change it. The momentum is building up in the downward negative trend on house prices and is going to be worse than most people think. And I really worry about people who are buying now because their opinion is, well, prices will come down another 5 or 10%, but then they'll turn around and the recession, and there's not going to be a recession, so it's okay. There's not going to be a recession. Prices are only going to fall 5%. I'm safe to buy. Always consider the worst case scenario, okay? Which is that prices have got a lot further to fall, and that even though the IMF and the Bank of England said there's not going to be a recession, because despite the fact that they're wrong every single month, they keep revising their forecasts up. I honestly, right. What else did I want to talk about? Time lag effect, 3As, inflation, interest rates. Guys, I'm going to wrap it up. A couple of quick questions if there are any. Do we have, actual intelligence, AI? Do we have questions? I'm so sorry for the short notice on this. I had to squeeze it in anyway. I don't have time for this today. But yes, we could well go to 6% interest rates. Let's get it. Hi there, Corf. Lee at Salford. Hi there. Guff Muppets crying. Yeah. Right, guys. Yes, still view. Julie Sellers. Do we still view? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because if you're out there viewing now and it takes you 2 or 3 months of viewing to find a place that you like, 2 or 3 months from now, the reality will be starting to bite. The actual reality will be starting to bite, and you'll be in a better position to negotiate. And you'll be in the. It's okay, guys. I can get passionate without getting stressed. I'm not about to have a stroke. It's okay. Okay. Scott. Hi there, Scott. You were great last night. Great feedback. Scott's view may have changed as a result of today. That's fantastic. What about the Bank of Mum and Dad, says Etnam. What about it? What about the Bank of Mum and Dad? The Bank of Mum and Dad is being reduced by falling house prices, falling equity, and rising inflation. It's not like people say, what about the bank of mum and dad? Like it's a new thing. The bank of mum and dad's been there for the last 10 years. It hasn't suddenly appeared. It's still there now. It's not going to change what's happening. It'll continue in its current form, but actually have an increasingly smaller effect, or a decreasing effect. So guys, yeah, Clayton James, when do agents take this on board? It's really important. Intelligent agents who actually do the objective, impartial number crunching maths have taken this on board. Whether they're saying that publicly is different, because they might be required publicly to say something that leans a bit in the favor of what they want to do. But slowly but surely, this is going to start. And honestly, to those of you who've been poking fun at me because house price indices, like the Guff indices, have gone up in the last couple of months, you're going to have so much egg on your faces, guys. This is mathematical gravity. It's coming. So, if you need to sell before you can buy, sell now. Get sold. Be a chain-free buyer. XR2828. Yes, I have seen Gary's economics. I like Gary. I think he's a really smart guy. But I think he's got some unknowns in his views about house prices. I'd love to talk to him about one day. Vikesh Mystery says, should we buy now? Or should we wait to buy or just offer less than asking price? There's no such, I can't give a straight percentage of asking price, because if an intelligent agent who's priced correctly, he'll be pricing it at today's market price, which means he'll get the market price or even slightly above it. Okay. So you have to look at every individual property on its own merits, and look at your own situation on your own merits, and then work out your maximum comfortable price based on what you think is going to happen. Okay. Yesterday I had someone tell me that they had a down valuation of 25%, right? So agreed deal agreed, buyer and seller have agreed price, lender comes around to lender valuation and goes, nope, we're taking 25% off that. Okay. And the other weird story yesterday was someone I know who's moving house with a Santander mortgage, and nothing has changed with their employment and their finances and everything else. They're porting the mortgage, and yet Santander have reduced how much they can port by about 30% with no explanation. Where is the best way to search for houses if it's not Rightmove? If you are a serious buyer, you will invest time going out and meeting the agents who are listing the kinds of houses that you want to buy. You'll be at the forefront of their minds when they're out there talking to sellers who haven't yet come to the market yet. If you want to be at the front of the queue for the properties that are coming to the market but haven't come to the market yet, if you're waiting on Rightmove, you're at the back of the queue. You're at the back of the queue if you're waiting for stuff on Rightmove. Okay? Intelligently priced stuff sometimes will sell before it even hits Rightmove. And if you aren't registered with agents with all of your ducks in a row, showing that you are absolutely dead keen to buy if the right deal comes along, you'll miss out on that, right? So intelligent buyers who are investing time getting their ducks in a row and going out meeting agents and viewing properties and getting their finger on the pulse of the exact market you want to move into, so the type of property, the exact location, and the budget area that you're in, only then are you going to be in a position to actually buy now at a sensible price now. But if you are comfortable and in a rush to move, I would not be in a rush to move right now. It would not be a rush to buy. If you're upsizing, it doesn't matter anyway. If the market falls and you're upsizing, it's going your way. If you're downsizing, I would downsize really fast. Yes, I know the gloating from Rightmove. Oh, it's so confusing to people who don't understand it when they go all-time high asking prices, and then not understand that average house prices going up doesn't mean house prices are going up. It means that the things that make up the average have caused an increase in the average. It doesn't mean all prices are going up. The other comment that springs to mind now was the chat from Zoopla saying the worst of the house price falls behind us. We need to remind him about that. Guys, I must go. I'm going to love you and leave you. Please spread the news. Do buy now. I do want people to move. Just don't let agents overvalue your house if you're selling. Remember, if you're selling, price just below the market and you'll catch the best price you can get today. All right? Do not think, well, we'll put it on at the higher price and hope we get someone stupid enough to pay an overpriced. It doesn't happen like that, guys. Guys, you're all thank you very much. I appreciate your thanks. Subasham Bulb. 8888, thank you. Tonks25, Earth, Guff and Fire. Brilliant. Yeah, off-grid campus the next 2 years. Thanks, guys. See you on the next one. Please share this with everybody. See you soon. Bye-bye. Oh, and remember, if you want to get your ducks in a row, go to this URL to get your ducks in a row if you are buying. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.